Welcome to Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters, where we guide the next generation to Christ through the outdoors. Join us around the campfire as we share stories of faith, courage, and adventure. All right, everybody, welcome today for Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters. I am still in North Carolina. One of our other previous podcasts with a couple other young boys, we were here, and so I'm just taking the opportunity to be able to visit with some young men. Here we've got Braxton, who's been in CTO for about 4 years, right, Braxton?
Yes, sir.
All right, how old are you?
I'm 15.
15, and we got Garrett, who is a fresh, new whippersnapper CTO camper. And how old are you?
I'm 11.
You're 11. I thought this would be a very unique perspective that we really don't do a lot on this podcast, talking about a young man that's very young, just getting started, and just kind of hearing his experience when it comes to that. So I'm excited because what a lot of people don't realize, guys, is we just met, right?
Yes, sir.
We literally just met. And obviously, I'm traveling around the country and talking with all kinds of kids, so I obviously don't know everybody and don't know even all of the volunteers in CTO Nation, because that's literally hundreds, and kids-wise, that's thousands of kids. So this was just a great opportunity for us to be able to sit down with you guys and just to let you guys speak and tell everybody what CTO means to you. And we'll start with Braxton here. Just tell everybody what CTO means to you and how God has used Cross Trail Outfitters to transform your life.
Well, like I said, I started in 7th grade through a friend, told me about it, and joined it. And right then, I started making friends, and I've got friends now that we do stuff outside of CTO. So that's always great, being able to come to a CTO meeting,
Yeah,
and have friends, and then also other things outside of CTO. But it really is special in the ways that the opportunities that we get to have, that a lot of very grown people don't even, they would never think of this. And it's amazing. There's a lot of people that don't get to do the things that we do.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's very, very blessed to
very blessed to
have
be
the
able-
opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome. What tell everybody, Braxton, what would be like something that comes to your mind? You can even tell a couple of them, all right? Kind of some of your favorite outings or your favorite camp or a favorite experience, and then if it correlates, what would be one of the most transformation moments that you had in Cross Trail Outfitters the last several years?
I'd say some of my favorite outings are the duck hunts, because
Another duck freak. Well, everybody in North Carolina is duck freaks around here.
yes, that's the thing in Eastern North Carolina. But we got ducks where I live, but the variety that we have down in Hyde County, which is where CTO takes us a lot of times, you just can't beat it, and it's really amazing. That's why I love doing duck hunting. And then we did a trip a few years ago to I think it's the James River in Richmond, and we did whitewater rafting. That was fun. Haven't been to a camp yet. I'm going this summer.
Okay, so this summer will be your first actual summer camp.
Yes, sir. I think it's the Black Duck Island camp.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it. I've heard a lot of good things.
What have you heard of the Black Duck Island camp? Like, I know you're excited, but a little nervous, possibly, or what's?
Well, there's nobody from our chapter going to that specific week, so I guess that'll be a little different. But I've heard great things: fishing, good food, fellowship. Sounds like a deal to me.
Sounds like a winner when it comes to that.
Yes, sir.
I actually love to hear that we love for friends to go and chapters to go together. That's all great too. But to go and do something totally different, and to be around some boys that you don't even know.
Yes, sir.
That stretches you. Because I know when you're a teenager, And that stage, even as grown adult men,
Yes, sir.
we struggle when we're out of our element and we have people we don't know, and then we start enemy really gets in our head about, am I this, or am I good enough, or am I this? Do I measure up, or where am I in the totem pole
Yes, sir.
of priority at camp? And that can be a little overwhelming sometimes. But if you allow God to grow that and lean into the outfitters and the guys that are going to be at camp, God will use that in a big way for you, and you're going to have some amazing experiences.
Yes,
but
sir.
you also will grow even more so when you're out of your comfort zone. God likes for us to get out of our comfort zone.
Yes, sir. And then also people there that might not be have as good of a relationship as I do with God.
Yeah.
That's where I can also help too.
There you go.
So yeah, I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
There always miss my friends going or something like that, but it's always good to take a step.
Yeah, absolutely. That step of obedience and getting out of your comfort zone and allowing God to use you.
Yes, sir.
I love what you're saying, and for those listening to this, I didn't prompt him to say this. That I mean, you're going with an expectancy for God to even use you.
Yes, sir.
To potentially disciple or mentor other kids as well.
Yes, sir.
And can become away with a lot of good friends. And we use the word brotherhood all the time in
Yes,
CTO, and there is a brotherhood. I mean,
sure.
here we are standing there. How old are you again? Remind me.
15.
15 and 11, right? Okay. Garrett's only 11, and they're 4 years difference. And a lot of people ask this in CTO. They say, how do you put 11-year-olds and 15-year-olds together? And that just doesn't seem to make sense. And sometimes we obviously do a lot of age-appropriate stuff. But many times, you're a classic example of where, because I know you've been on a hunt with him, right? And when that's exactly what that is, you're like an apprentice guide, helping guide another young man. And then as you get older, you're going to probably end up wanting to do the same type of thing. And that's kind of that circle of CTO life, if you will.
Yeah.
You're going to go to a lot of events and a lot of hunts and trips and camps that are age specific for you, but then when there's times to give back, you're going to be able to do that.
Yes, sir.
So tell me real quick here on what would be, I say real quick, don't ever be quick. You say whatever God's got on your heart.
Yes, sir.
What would be the most transformation moment that you either had personally or that you saw on an outing or something like that?
I think personally, just being able to spend time in the blind when the sun's coming up, it's just, I don't know, that's my favorite thing. I feel like you can see God in a lot of that, and then throughout the birds, they're dead, the ducks, when you kill them. But I mean, you just look at them; they're just beautiful. It's not something that you can just snap your fingers there. You tell God really put His time on those animals.
Yeah, no,
And
that's
it
great.
gives us a great deal of respect for wildlife and what God's put out there for us to go enjoy.
That's great. That is good. We talk so much about, obviously, which is a good thing, about God and our relationship with Christ and stuff, but one of our things in CTO is preserving our heritage. And preserving our heritage is our hunting and fishing heritage. And we take that very seriously in CTO because we want to teach you all how important that is. We know that it was all created by God Himself, but on the heritage side, just getting you guys in the field, a lot of people don't realize this, but we're losing youth hunters, boys and girls, at about 7% per year. And so in 20 years, when you're my age, yeah, you still won't even be my age in 20 years. But when you get to be my age, what youth hunting looks like will look completely different. And that's something that Cross Trail Outfitters really tries to be very diligent about in trying to preserve our heritage, to teach these things to you all and the importance of it and importance of conservation.
Yes, sir.
Hunting specifically and fishing, it is conservation. We spend a lot of money and time in that, but also we do have to keep the population in check and all the things that we have to do in order to make sure everything is that there's more waterfowl, there's more
Yeah.
deer, there's more fish for the next generation, for your kids, and then your kids' kids, and then your kids' 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 kids.
Yes, sir.
And so forth and so forth. And it's important that we manage that right.
Yes, sir.
So do you have another transformation moment that you can think of that you've seen? It doesn't have to even be with you per se, but around a campfire or somebody harvesting their first animal, or first deer, or first duck, or
I don't think I've seen a first yet. I think, did you kill like one of your first types of ducks when we went? Shoveler.
Yep, I've killed my first shoveler and
Okay.
my first ringnet.
Okay, all right. Well, in a minute, you're gonna tell us about that because that's a big deal. That's a huge deal.
Yeah. I mean, even for me, like I killed some of my first that day too.
Wow.
But that's always cool being able to see everybody just like light up. It's
Yeah.
like, man, that's pretty cool right there.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. That's transformational to me.
The look on their face and
Yeah.
everything else that may be going on in that kid's life, or even in your life, in that moment, it's like it's all gone because you're in the
Just
moment,
focused. Yes,
on the
sir.
moment and experiencing God and experience this first thing.
Yes, sir.
That's a big deal. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
I love that. That is a great story, brother. All right, you're up, Braxton. I'm not sorry, I called you Braxton. Help me. Garrett. See, I just met these guys. See, this is real, right? We won't even edit this stuff out. I literally just met these guys, so that's they'll give me some grace. Garrett will give me some grace because I literally just met Garrett, but I've heard so much about Garrett from so many other outfitters, so I'm really anxious to kind of hear some of his stories. So, Garrett, tell everybody, kind of like Braxton just did. Tell us what CTO means to you. And I know you're really new to CTO, but not just what CTO means to you, but what are you looking forward to even in the future, and what are you excited about?
I'm just really excited about to like more of like getting closer to God and stuff, and just getting to know how much He can do for us and everything. And all these hunting trips that I've been on, like they're really fun just to spend time with friends and just get experience in how duck hunting works and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're obviously wanting to grow in the Lord, but you also you're so young. There's so much for you to learn in the hunting and the fishing area that you can. That's how CTO is going to help you kind of grow and mold you into being a guide someday possibly, or an outfitter someday, or just a good conservationist and a good hunter and fisherman. So now, he was just talking about some of your first, you killed a couple first types of ducks. Tell us about that. Tell us about that day. And I don't know if you've known this yet because you're really new to CTO. Anytime you start telling a hunting story, we're supposed to start it with, there I was. So tell us the story of that particular hunt, because you killed a couple of your first. So say, there I was, and then go on to your story.
There I was, like they picked me up at my house, and we just went to this spot. I've been there before, and we actually sat in the blind, right to that blind that I hunted first that day that we went to that place, and we were just sitting there. And we just kept, like, the ducks kept flying. The older boys kept, they put out the decoys and stuff, and I got all the stuff ready in the blind. And we just were sitting there, and we just got shooting lights, so we loaded our guns and just got ready. And, I think the first duck that came in there was a shoveler, and I was the one that killed it.
You're the one that killed it. That was your first shovel.
Yeah, shoveler.
All right, what are they called?
Shovelers.
Shovelers. All right. See, I'm not a duck guy, so you have to teach me. I'm still waiting for any outfitters that are listening to this podcast someday, whenever that is. I've been in CTO now for almost 17 years. Okay, I'm going to tell a secret to the entire nation right now. I've never been duck hunting.
Oh man, gotcha.
Okay, I'm a big game guy. Okay, bear, elk, deer, turkey. I went fishing this morning. That's why I was late getting over here.
It's a bad problem.
Yeah, it is bad. Yeah, it is. Good, bad problem. So I think that's awesome, though. That was your first one. All right, go ahead. Finish your story.
we're just sitting there, and the ducks just like stopped flying for a few minutes, and we looked up, and there was like, I think it was like Air Force One flying in
Yeah,
the
it
sky.
was.
Really?
I forgot about that. It's cool.
Air Force One, huh? They were.
Yes,
It was really cool. And then
That is cool.
and then the ducks started flying again,
Wow.
and we just kept shooting them, and then we finally left.
Just kept shooting. Is anything dropping?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's-
Well,
Oh, is there a few things dropping?
I had to drop some for him.
He had to back up for you.
He did great.
Obviously, I'm assuming there was some calling going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So was Braxton doing a lot of calling, or did you, who was there guiding you?
Mr. Matt Little was guiding us.
Okay.
And we had 2 older boys, Braxton and another boy in there with the blind with us.
Okay.
Eli.
Okay. So Matt was doing. He was the adult guide there when it came to that too. So Matt pretty good at that.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that just through the grapevine. I heard that he was pretty good at that.
That's all he does in the winter.
That's all he does. Yeah, he's a duck freak.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, a lot of you guys around here are, but Mike Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
He's our other national
Oh,
guy
yeah.
with me. I know he's a big duck guy too, and
It's good stuff.
yeah, those are legends in CTO of what they can do. So that's awesome. Okay, so tell us also. Okay, now that's an amazing story, right? Now obviously after that. Did you, how many, have you been around a campfire time when CTO's sitting around in a circle and talking? Because I know you're very new to all this, so.
I've never been around a campfire with CTO.
Not yet?
Not yet. But I think when we go to, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to summer camp too.
Okay.
And I think I've heard that it's pretty good.
You will be doing that. If you go to summer camp, you will be doing that. There's 100%. That's a staple every night is a campfire time in a circle. Learn about Jesus and answering the questions of the day and doing all that kind of stuff. So what would be your favorite moment that you can think of? Obviously you just explained a really cool moment. Do you have another cool moment of something that you've had in CTO?
I've just known, like, when we went to some of the meetings, like, it's been really fun. We just, like, sit there and just talk about stuff. And it's really fun hanging out with your friends and stuff.
Okay. So you've been to some sportsman's nights then. All right. What have you learned in a sportsman's night? What are some skills maybe that you were taught?
There was one time where the parents had a meeting and Mr. Tom came and taught us that he was telling us stories about hypothermia and stuff.
Okay.
Because he fell out of a boat one time.
Yep. I heard that story this morning in another boat as we drove by where he did that. So he told that story, teaching you guys how to survive in that situation. Do you remember something you learned from that?
Like,
don't fall out of the boat.
Don't fall in the water. And he
so
said,
cool.
like, dress like layers, like, make sure you're not, like, don't put on too many layers and don't put on how many you think you need. And, like, all the layers and stuff.
Yeah. Layers are always important when it comes to that. So that's another example of obviously we're sitting around campfires and we're talking about Jesus and there's scripture and questions of the day and stuff like that. And we have our hunter and heritage, which is part of what we were just talking about. We always teach a skill. And that's where a lot of our sportsman's nights are done. You're taught a skill, whether it be how to sharpen a knife, how to survive in a situation. If you were in hypothermia was setting in, what do you do? How to maybe avoid that situation, like falling out of a boat in the dead of winter, that kind of thing. Just scenarios like that. Because if that were to happen, how would you handle it and how would you survive it? And we teach those skills. Something Mr. Tom does too. He does a really cool survival kit thing that he does for Sportsman's Nights that I've actually and some other guys in CTO Missouri, where I'm from, have copied that before and have taught that to other kids too. And you end up going away with a little kit with all kinds of stuff, how to survive in the wilderness or in survival situations to do that. So we're always teaching those kind of skills as well. That's cool. Well, I'm excited for you because I'm really excited because you're so fresh and new to CTO. I can see the excitement in your eyes about what's going to be next. And you're going to then, a few years from now, we could come back and talk again, and you're going to have countless stories, countless and countless stories of how God all changed your life and how you saw other young men's lives changed for Christ. And then you're going to also have lots of funny stories. And you'll have some stories of
We
things.
got some funny stories now.
I'm sure you do already. And there is a lot to do with that. Look, oh man, he's looking at you like, I don't know, should we be talking about this one or not?
No.
It's not that bad.
What happens in the pond stays in
Well, that's not always true, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. That is something about when it comes to duck hunting that everybody talks about this. A couple of the other boys talked about it, where you don't have to be as quiet like in a deer blind tree.
You can just
You can just talk, and you guys make food.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good
Sometimes you take a little stove. I know people who have duck blinds that have stoves in
They
them.
say
Yeah.
the bacon calls them in.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet, but
Yeah.
I'd love to try it.
Yeah, they say I've been watching YouTube videos and they be like cooking breakfast, and next thing you know, ducks just keep flying in there.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a big thing with pit blinds. That they'll basically sink a storage container underground.
Yep. And then you can go in. I know guys that have beds.
Yeah,
They sleep in there.
Yeah.
Wake up. Their spread is all set up already, and they just literally wake up, start making breakfast, and literally from where they're eating breakfast, maybe another platform or a few steps, and they're up. They take the lid, put the lid up, or the roof, whatever you want to call it, and boom, you're hunting.
I hope I get there one day.
That is that sounds like my kind of duck hunting. I think I could do that.
Yeah, well, way that I've been raised to do it. We're walking through the woods, and you got to put in a little work for it.
Yeah.
And you're up
CTO
at 2 in
makes
the morning.
Yeah, CTO makes it easy for me. But I'm like, man, this is nice.
We were talking about that this morning when we were fishing, that sometimes we do make scenarios really good for some of you guys, and how it can spoil you a little bit. But we do believe that it's important to have skin in the game when you're doing a hunt and a fishing trip. And that's why we make sure that you're cleaning up after yourself and others. And something I've already heard you say several times, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We always teach, yes, you just said it again. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am, whatever it may be, and just being respectful to our elders and the things that we do in CTO. That's just another avenue of how God uses CTO to change the lives of you. And what I always talk to everybody about too with me, here we are there to minister and set up an amazing hunt for you guys, or amazing trip or fishing and campfire time, and to grow you all spiritually. But what I would say every man in CTO says when they go and do all that, you guys may not realize this, but you change our lives by how things that you do, the things that you say, and how God changes your life. It challenges us to be better men. To raise our level in our own relationship with Christ. And I don't know if you guys even knew that or not, but that happens a lot. And there's no age limit on that. So 10, 11, 6, 7, 8 years old, whatever, you can even help older men grow in the Lord as well. You just may not see it that way at this age, but by your actions and your attitude and how you do things and how you react to things makes a big difference. It gives some of us adults kind of hope, if you will, because sometimes we have a tendency, older men especially, will look back and say, oh my goodness, it's so hopeless with these youth. Well, I can tell you that in CTO, all across the nation, we have young men like yourselves that are literally looking in the eye and saying, yes, sir, and asking, how can I help you?
Yes, sir.
And all of those things. And that's unheard of. And we always talk about, we see that everybody says, I never hear that anymore. Well, we hear it all the time in CTO, because it is a basic skill that we require every young man to have when they're on an outing or summer camp or a sportsman's night. So I think that's fabulous too. It's just another way of respecting your elders and doing some awesome things.
Yes, sir. In this general area, I like to call it it's a little bubble for us, Beaufort County and all the counties surrounding it. I don't know, it's just something about the way we're raised.
It's just it comes natural to
you.
you.
And it's all across the world, all across the nation and the world too. But I don't know, you really are. I'm thankful for where I've grown up and
Yeah.
the things that I get taught that a lot of people don't get taught.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'd like to invite you guys down to this would be down over, I guess, over to Missouri. I love when I see other campers cross-pollinate to other states.
Yeah.
Especially, you're just getting going, buddy, but as you get older, it's really good to maybe look at going at another camp, even though you may not know everybody, but grab a buddy from North Carolina and go to a Missouri camp or an Oklahoma camp or a Texas camp, or South Carolina is almost the same, but South Carolina, North Carolina, whatever, and cross-pollinate and go experience God's creation in a whole nother world that you may think it's the same, but it's not. It's totally different. And when I travel and go to camps around the country, what I love about it the most is it all looks like CTO, and it's hunting and fishing, and you see Jesus all over it, but it's always different because it's got its own state flair, if you will. I think that's great. All right, well, guys, do you just something that in your mind, if you were sitting there, and I do this with a lot of the young men, and you're getting ready to speak to anybody, somebody may be listening to this. There might be a grandma, a mom, or a dad, or maybe another young man that is just listening, or maybe they're even just eavesdropping. Somebody's got this podcast on somewhere in their car or maybe in their house, and all of a sudden they hear hunting and fishing, and they kind of perk into that. What would you like to say to any youth, or anybody for that matter, out there to encourage them to check CTO out? Good. You want to go first? Let him go first. You got a thought?
No, you
All
can
right, hand in the microphone. We'll let him speak into this one.
I would say if you were kind of debating on whether or not to join CTO and all that, I mean, it's like I said, I can't say it enough. It really is amazing. The opportunities I've had that I've seen a lot of people my age don't get to have that aren't in CTO. It's a blessing. And I don't know, it really is special that the things that we do throughout CTO and the diversity of the things that we do. Great guys, you'll make friends. You'll make great connections with younger guys and older guys too. It's great, great fellowship, and like you said, building a brotherhood that in some instances will last for life.
Absolutely.
And that's very important.
Yeah, it is very important. Well, that's great. I can tell you all that if you're on the fence, sometimes you just got to just do it.
Yep. Just jump in.
Yeah, just jump in and just do it. And if one thing that we don't always talk a lot about too, most every state has scholarship funds. If somebody's saying, man, that just sounds like that's probably going to be way too expensive, we do have an ability to help and have assistance out there if somebody wants to come to a camp or wants to come to an outing, to assist at all different levels, from full scholarships to partial scholarships. And I know many states do work projects. They sell raffle tickets. They do different things to help their way to go to camp and to do a variety of things. So, if you got any wisdoms you want to part on everybody?
I just want to say, like, when we signed up, I was just like worried that I wasn't gonna make like friends maybe, and I just jumped in, and I think the first meeting I met like two friends that we just came to become friends.
Just met them and you felt like you were best friends at the end of that night, right?
It's just funny how people don't even know you, and then like the first time you do it, you just make friends.
You feel like you're best buddies after just an hour or two.
You just feel like you're into that, like you're just brought into that and just like doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
And even though the age difference between us, like when you're in a blind, everybody's buddies.
Yeah.
You all talk to each other, so
Yeah.
you can make some good friendships in a blind.
Yeah.
Because I never even met him out of at a meeting or whatever. But guess we met at the hunt, and that was
You just went from
Oh
there.
yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people will have a hard time understanding that. How
Yeah.
does 11 and 15, how does that connect? But that is something that we do in CTO
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And I've heard countless a number of examples like this. How you can feel, how's a 15-year-old feel like they're friends with a 10 or 11-year-old?
Yeah, well, it's, I mean, like you said, there was another guy that was about my age, Eli Davenport. Me and him, we've been friends since about 3 years ago. I think we went on a hunt together, and we've been friends since then. And you know, we started off, you know, we were just talking, and then when we picked him up, we just started introducing ourselves and made friends, and I don't know, that's how it works. You just gotta go out. You can't be afraid to say hey, and yeah, it makes lifelong friendships like that.
That's. I think I've said the word awesome 100 times. You can tell I'm from.
It's awesome.
I grew up in the '80s. I say awesome all the time. So yeah, that it is. It really is awesome, and it's more than just. It's not just church camp. It's not just even hunting and fishing.
Exactly.
It's so much more than that, and it's hard to know that unless you experience it.
Yes, sir.
So if anybody's out there listening to this, if you're a grandma or grandpa or aunt and uncle or a mom or dad or just a friend and you're listening to this, and maybe you say, well, man, I don't know how I can get plugged in or how I can even get involved, check us out. Go to teamcto.org. That's our website. Or you can call 1-866-KID-HUNT. And that will get you to one of our offices, and we'll get you connected. That anywhere in the country, that will get you connected to that. CTO is growing. CTO is doing some awesome work. There's many, many more kids like this, thousands of kids that we are working with that have very similar stories like this. And if you think you know a young man that needs to be plugged in, I think all men need to be plugged in to this, right? Because we're kind of biased, right?
Oh yeah.
But if you know of a young man that needs to get plugged in or wants to go hunting and fishing, or you know they need Jesus, or they need a deeper relationship with Jesus, get them plugged in. Tell them to check us out. Just Google Cross Trail Outfitters, and it'll take you right to our website. Look us up, and if you're a landowner that is interested in getting plugged in, that's how we do most of what we do. We're on private land. Landowners allow us to come in. We carry additional liability insurance on top of whatever plan they have to help get them covered. And if you're interested in wanting to get plugged in that way, or you just want to be a prayer partner, put us on your prayer list. And if you're wanting to be a donor, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization all across the country. And if you want to seed into these young men, scholarship a kid, scholarship a camper, or just to donate to us, we have a lot of men that do this full time, and then many of our men do this on a volunteer basis. And it's amazing that they can fit in their busy schedules to even do what they do. But it does take finances to put ammo in the guns and gas in the trucks and food on the table just to survive. So we always are needing help. So if that's something you want to look into, again, go to teamcto.org, check that out, go to your state. You'll see the list of all the different states on our website. Check it out and look into that and seed into us and invest into the future, into our next generation, because our whole main vision in CTO is guiding the next generation to Christ through the outdoors, and our core values are building men, preserving our heritage, and sharing our faith. So God is on the move through CTO Nation, and he's changing lives, just like these two young men's lives are in the process of being changed through Cross Trail Outfitters and our Lord Jesus Christ. So until next time, guys, we'll see you around the campfire with Cross Trail Outfitters. Thank you for listening to Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters. CTO is a hunting and fishing club with the mission of guiding the next generation to Christ through the outdoors. If you'd like to support us or are interested in getting involved, visit us on our website at teamcto.org. Links are in the description. Make sure to like and share our podcast. Join us next time around the campfire with Wild Pursuits.